Everybody thought Papa was safe. Out of all the people in the city, he was the one character who always tried to stay peaceful. He spoke about faith, family, and hope. But in episode 2, something changed. The fear in Papa's eyes felt real this time. And when Nuck entered the picture, the whole mood of the episode became dark. The silence between them felt dangerous. Every word sounded like a warning. By the end of the episode, fans were left asking one shocking question. Did Nuck just kill Papa? Because if that really happened, then the Chi may never be the same again. The episode starts with tension already building in the streets. Nobody feels comfortable anymore. Every character looks stressed, angry, or afraid. It feels like the city is slowly falling apart. Papa tries to continue living a normal life, but the pressure around him keeps growing. You can see it in the way he talks. He sounds more nervous than before. Even when he tries to smile, something feels off. It is like he already knows danger is getting close. The writers do a great job making the audience feel uncomfortable from the beginning. There are long, quiet moments that feel heavier than loud arguments. Every scene feels like something bad is waiting around the corner. Nuck's energy this season feels completely different. Before, he was dangerous, but now he feels colder, more serious, more willing to hurt people if he has to. In episode 2, he barely needs to raise his voice because his presence alone creates fear. Every time he appears on screen, the mood changes instantly. Even other characters seem careful around him. Nobody wants to challenge him directly anymore. That tells us something important. Nuck is becoming more powerful, but he is also becoming more unstable. And that combination is deadly. Papa slowly becomes trapped in the middle of problems bigger than him. That is what makes this episode so emotional. Papa is not built for street drama the way some other characters are. He speaks from the heart, and sometimes that honesty creates enemies. The episode hints that Papa may know things he should not know. There are moments where characters suddenly stop talking when he enters the room. There are suspicious looks exchanged when Papa asks questions. The show keeps teasing that Papa is getting too close to dangerous secrets. And in a city like this, secrets can get people killed. One of the smartest things about this episode is how the writers build fear without showing violence right away. They use conversations, silence, and body language to tell the story. Nuck does not openly threaten Papa at first, but the tension between them keeps growing stronger. Every meeting between them feels uncomfortable. Papa tries to act calm, but you can tell he feels pressure. Nuck watches him carefully, like he is trying to decide something important. That is what makes the audience nervous. It feels like Nuck is studying Papa instead of simply talking to him. As the episode continues, the atmosphere becomes darker. Even the streets look empty and cold. Nobody feels safe anymore. Trust is disappearing between friends and families. People are making desperate choices just to survive. Papa starts realizing that words alone cannot protect him anymore. That truth hits hard because Papa has always believed people could change. He believed there was still good inside everyone. But Nuck represents the opposite of that belief. Nuck believes survival comes first, no matter who gets hurt. There is one moment in the episode that changes everything. Papa and Nuck share a quiet conversation, but underneath that silence is pure danger. Papa tries to speak carefully, almost like he knows one wrong word could destroy everything. Nuck stays calm, but his eyes say something different. It feels like he already made a decision before the conversation even started. The tension in that scene is unbelievable because nobody knows what will happen next. Fans watching probably felt nervous the entire time. The episode also drops several hidden clues that something terrible is coming. The camera keeps focusing on Papa alone. The music becomes slower and darker whenever Nuck appears nearby. Even small details start feeling important. The writers clearly wanted viewers to feel fear before anything actually happened. That is why the ending hit so hard for so many people. It did not feel random. It felt like the episode was slowly preparing us for heartbreak from the very beginning. By the final minutes, the pressure becomes unbearable. Papa looks emotionally exhausted. Nuck looks completely locked in mentally. And when the screen cuts during that shocking moment, fans were left speechless. The show does not clearly show everything, which makes the mystery even bigger. Some viewers think Papa is dead. Others believe the writers are tricking us. But one thing is certain. Episode 2 completely changed the relationship between Papa and Nuck forever. And now the entire future of the Chi feels unpredictable. After the events of Episode 2, the entire city feels different. The streets no longer feel controlled, fear is spreading quietly through every corner, and nobody knows who to trust anymore. What makes the situation worse is the fact that people are starting to realize Nuck is no longer thinking like everybody else. He is moving like a man who already accepted that there is no turning back. That is the scary part. Once someone reaches that point, there is almost nothing stopping them from doing something terrible. Papa's situation becomes more dangerous because he starts noticing things other people ignore. He begins connecting small details together, conversations suddenly ending when he walks into a room, friends acting nervous around him, strange looks from people who used to treat him normally. At first, Papa tries convincing himself that maybe he is overthinking everything. But deep down, he knows something bad is happening around him. The closer he gets to the truth, the more isolated he becomes. One thing this episode does perfectly is show how fear changes people slowly. Nobody openly says they are scared of Nuck, but their actions reveal everything. Characters stop arguing with him, they avoid eye contact, they choose their words carefully. Even powerful people seem uncomfortable when he enters the room. That silent fear says more than any threat ever could. Nuck understands that power is not always about violence. Sometimes fear alone controls people better than weapons. Papa keeps trying to hold on to hope, but hope is becoming harder to protect in this world. He still wants to believe people can change. He still believes there is good left inside the community. But every conversation keeps pushing him toward a painful reality. Survival now matters more than loyalty. People are protecting themselves first. The old rules no longer exist. That creates a dangerous environment for someone like Papa because he still thinks emotionally while everybody else is thinking strategically. There is a major scene where Papa notices how differently people react. When Nuck's name gets mentioned, the room instantly becomes quiet. Nobody wants to continue the conversation. Some characters even leave completely because they do not want trouble connected to them. That moment tells Papa something important. Nuck's influence is growing fast, and people are terrified of getting caught in his path. Papa finally understands that this situation is much bigger than personal drama. This is about control, power, and survival. At the same time, Nuck starts becoming harder to read emotionally. Earlier seasons showed flashes of emotion inside him. Sometimes anger, sometimes pain, sometimes regret, but now he feels almost empty. Calm in a dangerous way. The type of calm that usually appears before chaos. That emotional change makes him unpredictable, because nobody knows what line he refuses to cross anymore. The audience can feel that something inside Nuck is breaking apart slowly. Another powerful detail in this episode is how loneliness surrounds both characters. Papa feels alone because nobody fully tells him the truth. Nuck feels alone because power has separated him from everyone emotionally. Even when surrounded by people, he still feels disconnected. That emotional isolation creates tension between them because both characters are trapped in completely different worlds. Papa wants peace, while Nuck believes peace no longer exists. The writers also use body language brilliantly throughout this part of the story. Papa starts looking over his shoulder more often. He pauses before answering questions. His confidence slowly disappears. Meanwhile, Nuck barely reacts physically at all. He stays still, speaks softly, and keeps his emotions hidden. That contrast creates fear because calm people are often the most dangerous in situations like this. Nuck no longer wastes energy proving himself. He acts like someone who already knows he controls the room. As pressure builds, rumors begin spreading across the streets. People start whispering that something serious is about to happen. Nobody knows exactly what, but everybody feels tension growing. Some think a betrayal is coming. Others believe revenge is being planned behind closed doors. The uncertainty itself becomes dangerous because fear makes people act differently. Trust disappears fast once paranoia enters the picture. Papa finally reaches a point where he realizes silence may no longer protect him. He understands that knowing too much can become a death sentence. But at the same time, staying quiet could also destroy him emotionally. That inner conflict becomes one of the strongest parts of the episode. Papa is trapped between survival and truth. And in the Chi, choosing truth often comes with consequences.